Dear brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel of Conscious Creations. I'm happy to be here. I must admit that it takes me sometimes to make a video because I am also very much affected by my own path and by what's going on with me, by the twin flame relationship that I'm experiencing. It throws me sometimes off, it brings me sometimes down to my knees, dispowered, and I find a way to empower myself also thanks to you, thanks to your views, thanks to your likes and shares and subscribes. And please take this chance, this moment right now to click the like button, or later on, of course, if you like this video, click it, but it does help a lot when you like it, when you subscribe, when you leave a comment, and of course when you share the video. It helps for other people to discover that channel. As you know, there's so much information outside, and I'm trying to do things on a word-to-mouth base, on a very natural evolvement of things, much like nature, as less of forcing things to happen and just allowing things to happen. And that brings me to one of the subjects of today. I wanted to speak about twin flames, but I also wanted to start by connecting to the last two videos that we made about manifestation. And in the manifestation, you probably felt through the videos that there is no power involved in that. There's, as we've mentioned, there is creating that space, that emptiness within you for something from the so-called outside to come and to fill that space, whatever it is that you're calling forth. Now, I say so-called outside because the outside is not really there. It's an illusion. It's the beautiful illusion, because we are one with everything. We're one with the universe. We are perceiving ourselves as cells of Mother Earth, as a beautiful sunlight, sun ray of Father Sky, of the source. And yet at the same time, we are that. We are the source. We are Mother Earth. So that's a tricky thing to say something comes from it from the outside, because I am actually that thing that comes into myself too. And that brings me to today's video, where we will speak about the difference between manifesting and creating. So the forces of nature, we spoke about the forces of nature in the last video, where we said there's the force of attraction and rejection, and you've probably got from the video where that manifestation is more feminine, is a negative, is a passive way of inviting things. However, at the same time, you are also the positive force. You are also the masculine driven force that comes into fulfillment and impregnating that space that you create by creating a void, creating a minus, creating that feminine womb for the positive, active, masculine force to come in there, impregnate it, and create whatever it is that you want in your life. And that's the subtle distinction between creating and manifesting. It is very much the same, yet it is different. Much like dark and light, positive and minus, those forces belong together. You cannot fully separate them. The separation is an illusion. They are standing in front of each other and they are intermingling. They are creating a sphere. Masculine and feminine create a sphere. Minus and plus create a sphere. Dark and light create a sphere. And we are that sphere, as well as the single cell inside of it that is moving around, or that is creating. So when you are manifesting, when you're creating that void and inviting something into your life, this is where the brain kicks in and starts to try to hold on whatever it is that you have called forth. That's why we've said that when you are manifesting, when you're calling forth something into your life, you need to have the awareness to recognize that as such. This is where the mind comes into play. The mind is the part of our experience, or that, yeah, it is the part of the experience that is aware, that is recognizing what is happening, and that is storing it into the matrix of our system. There is a matrix that is Mother Earth, that belongs to how energy is moving and filling you in and going through out of you and creating through that energy. And you are part of that matrix, and you are a matrix on your own. You are a copy of that thing. You are a micro of that macro. Fractals. So, or fractals. So, you have to be aware of that space inside of you, that you are that matrix. And that matrix needs to recognize things when they come there in order to register them as such and send the information to the right place, store it in the right place, and use it through sending it to the right elements that needs to be activated. So, your brain plays a crucial part in recognizing what you have called forth into your life, what needs to come in as a impregnating force in the space that you have created. If your brain is not recognizing it as such, it will not be able to enter your space and impregnate it. That energy will be blocked. The energy needs to come forth, be recognized by the mind as such, and then allowed entry, and then the mind creates an emotional change of reaction. It is very much a chemical exchange in your body that move the body through emotions into creating it in the physical form. Creation and manifestation are built in layers, you could say. Much like you are not only a physical body, you are aware of that body, you have an emotional body, you are using energy in order to channel that into your body, in order to move yourself in this reality. Everything else is subjected to those elements too, to those lanes of who you are. The mental, the emotional, the energetical, the etherical, the physical. So when you are calling forth something into your life, it's first an idea. And that idea needs to transform and become a reality, so you can really use it, tangibly grasp it, use it, experience it. You can manifest an idea and then it would come to you back as an idea. But if you want that idea to become reality, then it needs to transform and move from the mental space into, or from the, to move from the mental space to move as an energy coming back, being recognized by that mental space, and then being transformed into an emotional space or an emotional component that allows a reaction into the body and therefore give birth to something physical. And that something physical is again a creation of you. You are inviting it into your space, and it comes into your space in a form of who you are. It comes into your space in the form of who you are. It's important to recognize. And here we touch another subject that is called twin flames. Twin flames have come into this reality as an outlet, as a big bang, as a spark of Christ consciousness. There was a split in that consciousness into 144,000 elements, 1,000 units, you could say it, which is the 12 quadrat, the 12 in the power of 2. 144 is the 12 empowered by itself, you could say 12 times 12. That's the exponential growth of evolution. Now, this as well is being incarnated at the same time, both at the masculine and the feminine, both at the dark and the light, both in the positive and the negative. So that again is split into 2, which create more of that. And those are doorways, those are units, and each unit, when it becomes aware of itself and of its path, allows or becomes a door. And that door again will be able to split into other units. And into those units will be able to come and enter more people, individuals, that have the awareness of twin flame and of Christ consciousness. I know that it's a bit too much. It's a seed that has been splitted to so many ways, and when each of those splitted atoms becomes aware of itself, it goes through an experience, and through that experience it has the capacity to separate again and to split itself into more cells. And those cells will be again accessible to be for awareness to enter and to activate them. And then there's a chain that is connected, much like the blockchain of cryptocurrency. Check that out, cryptocurrency. So there's a lot of things that I'm throwing out there. Cryptocurrency and twin flames and manifestation and creation, plus and minus. I will make sure to make more videos about that, but we have to let it sink in slowly and gradually make this into our metabolism, gradually empower ourselves into thinking that way, into believing that way, and into manifesting and creating in that way. And that needs to be embodied. It's a thought. Right now I'm sharing with you words. Words are vibration of sound that move a certain thought pattern in your brain, and those thought patterns are trying to connect with that vibration. And the more we repeat that cycle, the stronger the connection is, and then the vibration starts being assimilated, the vibration that I'm sending and the vibration of the receiver, which is you guys. And when you are starting to practice that and talk about that and make that into your life pattern, then the vibration starts to balance itself out, and then it equalizes. It comes to a balance point, into a harmony, and with that harmony we can start creating something bigger. So touching again to the twin flame, the twin flame is that unit starting to become aware of it in this reality as a dual form, which means as a feminine and a masculine, a positive and a negative, everything that has to do with duality, which is the first split of the source. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. 2, duality. All right? And in that duality, the twin flame, the one that walks the path of twin flame, starts to realize, after the connection with that so-called outside twin flame, the twin in the reality, in the physical reality, in the so-called outside space of who I am. After that connection is being established, then starts to come a lot of disruption in the system to bring each individual, each twin, into the realization that everything is happening in here, that unity of feminine and masculine is in here, and from here being transported to the outside world, much like manifesting and creating. So when I'm in that space and I have that understanding and I can embody that understanding and move it from a thought to an emotion to a physical form, then I am creating in my life the twin flame journey. So the twin flame journey is something that is constantly happening and constantly evolving and constantly needs to be chosen. It constantly needs to be chosen. And it is a hard journey. It is really, really tough on the senses. It's overwhelming because it brings the individual again and again to not only to the realization, but also to the manifestation of reality. So really stop for a second and think about it. What does it mean that you are manifesting and creating your reality? Are you then just doing part-time of that, and the other part is being manifested by an outside source of who you are? Are you doing 80% of that? 80% of creating something in your life, and then 20% is being created for you by an outside source. Is that possible? Taking full responsibility of the creatorship mode that you have inside of that power inside of you, is overwhelming. And it takes practice to constantly believe in it, to transform it from a thought to a belief system, and then create an emotional charge that moves the physical body into becoming it. That's big. So let's take a moment and sit with that. Take a deep breath and understand that we are that power, that we are that passive manifestor and that active creator. We take a deep breath, we're taking full responsibility for all what that means. And that means that I am manifesting every single thought, every single image, every single feeling, and every single reaction and action in my reality. Therefore, there's nobody else to blame. There's no reason to shut anybody out, to deny any experience in my life, to put guilt on anyone else, and to blame somebody else for what is happening to me. And this is overwhelming and hard. And I need to remind it to myself again and again. It's a path that we choose in every single breath. Thank you, my lovely ones. Please, please. Well, not please, please, but I invite you again to press that like button. It helps the channel to be discovered by other people. Share it if you want, if you feel like there's somebody that can benefit from this message. Subscribe, and this is how we exponent our own reality and our own connection, by reaching out to more people, by creating a network of conscious minds and aware bodies that are holding together space and therefore lifting our own frequency. Remember, we are harmonizing our frequencies when we constantly share with each other, and then we will lift, we are already doing it, lifting the energetical grid of Mother Earth, allowing more light, more sound, and more vibrational frequency to activate heaven on earth right here and right now. Leave a comment, and I'll be happy to make more videos on the things that you feel inspired by. There was somebody asked me to do a video about a Todd. So the Todd is the frog, it's the bigger frog, and no coincidence in life, I'm starting to see more videos about big frogs and bullfrogs and Todds that come into my feed stream, or however it's called, news feed. And I will do then a video soon about the symbolism of the frog / the Todd. as well as more videos about the TwinFlame. So feel free to leave a comment with a question or just with a suggestion to what those videos should be about. Thank you. Have a great and amazing, lovely day.